Hey everyone, this week's market update will be a little bit different because I want to show you some altcoins that are actually showing strength even in these market conditions. And I also want to show you a bit of news that I came across, and I want to analyze it together with you and kind of show you how much misinformation is going around, even on respected news sites, how to read into these and how to make your own judgment and how to use this information in your market analysis. But first, let's go over the charts and just summarize everything that I'm seeing, and also one thing that I believe could be the wrecking ball in the near future if we see a true bear market capitulation that I still believe is quite possible. So this is Bitcoin's weekly chart, and as you can see, we broke out of this really big descending trend line. However, we're still just chopping around, we're in this sizing mode. We don't know what's going to happen, but obviously if this line of hope around 18, 19k breaks, I'm expecting a true capitulation to the downside somewhere in this area. And for me right now, when I'm looking at everything, the only thing that I believe could trigger this is actually the stock market as usual and what's happening there. If you've been following the news, last week we had the unemployment rate come out, and it's actually much better than expected, and this actually caused stocks to sell off. And the main reason for this was that the market is expecting for the Fed to continue hiking higher because of this report, because the economy is actually not doing so bad according to this report. We're gonna see also how the CPI number, the inflation numbers will come out, and then we're going to see what the Fed will actually do. But I believe if we get the perfect storm of good unemployment data, bad inflation numbers, the Fed will hike higher, which is actually the most expected right now. And this in the next several months will directly affect many other things on the market. And I think the domino that will actually cause the market to fall is the pension funds. I've been taking this for the past year or so, and I've seen some people talk about this. And kind of the news that came out from the UK that actually they are going to print more money to save the market. And the main reason for this is because pension funds could go under. I really think if this happens in the US and also in other nations, this could cause a major recession. There's so many people and so many big institutions that rely on those pension funds, and one of them in the US goes bust, this could really be a black swan event, I would say. This is of course just my opinion. I'm definitely not a macro expert. This is just how I feel and what I've been seeing and how I read the general picture. And I always try to keep looking into different options. This might not even happen, but I think it's quite probable. So I want to leave it there on the table also for you guys, and of course do your own research and tell me what you think about all of this. But I'm keeping this in mind, and I'm preparing myself also for this kind of scenario. So I think that's the bear case, the really bad case that we might see in the markets. The bull case for me is that we're seeing a lot of buying here. As you can see, it's been already, let me just measure this, but from here to here, it's been already 120 days. So this is like 4 months already. We've been holding this, and there's been a lot of buying support. And I'm thinking that a lot of the sellers already sold. There are a lot of people that capitulated already, probably somewhere around here. And there's been so much FUD going on the markets that usually when we have such conditions, price tends to reverse or do nothing for quite a while. So everyone gets really, really bored, and then it kind of reverses and starts climbing upwards and starts trending towards a bull market. I don't know if this will play out or how long it will take, but I'm definitely seeing some signs of this too. So that's why I'm still in a wait and see mode in general. Probably I'll do this for at least several weeks more before I start buying heavily stuff. I'm considering to start nibbling some altcoins here and there that I'm going to be sharing with you in the coming weeks, but nothing major. I'm not going all in crypto right now. So these are the bull and bear cases, and I wanted to show you several coins that are showing very good strength, I would say, some breakout patterns even. And the first one we're going to look at is ENS. This is Ethereum naming service. And if we go to a daily chart here, you'll see that we have this very nice breakout pattern that is forming. We have higher lows all the way from here. We broke out of this accumulation, I would say the lower level accumulation here is somewhere around May this year to July this year. So during the summer we had this accumulation here, and now we are forming a beautiful ascending triangle here and a potential for a breakout here around $18. There's been a lot of talk about ENS, and there's been a lot of buying and selling of those domain accounts. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pop here. That is, of course, if we actually see the market hold up. Keep this in mind. In the bear market, I'm not super excited about breakout patterns. And if we look at it right now, if we break in the next few days, the level down that is the first major low is, I think, somewhere around here, which is around $13 or 27% down. So for me, it's a little bit steeper than I would like when it comes to risk to reward, because the first level up for a profit target is somewhere around here, somewhere around 50% at $27. If we see something like this and this doesn't rush to break out, something like this maybe, then it will be a different story. Then we might have a little bit better risk to reward with around 10% and then 50% to the upside. So that's a different setup, and it will actually be a little bit more confirmation that we are having and we're keeping this structure of higher lows here on the descending line. But this is one of the rare charts that is actually above both the 100 and the 200 daily moving average. So definitely I'm keeping this on watch. Another one that I really like, and probably I'll start buying some, I just need to finish my research, is GMX. As you can see, GMX has also been showing some relative strength, and it also just got listed on Binance and I think on FTX also. And let me check what other exchanges also. But that's a really good sign, because this is a decentralized exchange and there wasn't pretty much any exchange diversification. But as you can see here, we already have FTX and Binance and CoinEx. And potentially in the future, we might see more exchanges adding this token. I might start buying some just as an accumulation play. I don't care if it still goes lower. I'm ready to buy more if it goes lower and forms like an accumulation somewhere in this area below, let's say $70, somewhere around here. Whatever happens here, I don't really care. I might be buying some, but I'll let you know definitely when I start doing this. Another one is DeSo or decentralized social, whatever. It had a really big pop. If you remember, I've done some research on this that I shared a few months with you, and there was this very nice breakout that we saw here. It was actually accumulating for quite a while, and as you can see here, the 100-day moving average was also converged in this area, so it kind of caused a very good breakout. The main reason for this is that DeSo added compatibility with MetaMask, which is pretty much the biggest wallet out there. And I think this really caused momentum to shift, and it was like the perfect storm. We were nearing a breakout here with an ascending triangle here. And then the news came out, and then you can see what happened. In the from the breakout area here to the top, we were around 230%. I didn't add this to my alerts for this breakout, but now looking back at it in hindsight, maybe I should have added it just, to be aware when it breaks out, even if I didn't add. So in the future, there will be many setups like this. We cannot catch every single trade. But yeah, I'm just a little bit salty about this one just because I've done the research and I've looked into it, and I know that this type of projects that are offering decentralized social media solutions will definitely be in focus in the near future. The next one that looks bullish is actually XRP, and XRP, is in a weird situation. We still don't have the decision with the SEC case. We have a lot of speculation what's going to happen. However, I think the Moon Boys are buying in anticipation, and the chart is the truth right now. As you can see, again, very nice ascending line. We also have a clear breakout level. I would say somewhere around here. Maybe a few more touches will confirm this if it just doesn't moon. But somewhere in this area, we might see a breakout. It's again above both moving averages and definitely showing some relative strength. I'm not sure I'm going to trade this because of the different risks that they are related to this, and it's been very, very choppy, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of back holders here that are ready to sell, but I'm just, wondering what's going to happen here. I'm not sure how this will play out, but I'm keeping it on my watch list. And at some point, maybe I decide to take a stab at it. We'll see. I don't want to let my biases keep me from taking a trade. So that's why I'm keeping this on the list and seeing how it will develop. Another one that I think came from nowhere is QNT or Quant. I saw this also trending on Twitter the other day, and I just look at the chart, and if we just go to a weekly chart, you'll see a very nice head and shoulders here, reverse head and shoulders, and a break above this level of 150. Today we're actually confirming this as support, and the chart looks quite bullish, to be honest. You know, I have nothing against it. There has been volume on the breakout. If we move to the 1 hour chart, you'll see that in this area, when it started breaking out, there was an increase in volume. So definitely, I think this is a valid breakout. And if you're looking to it, it might not be a terrible place to add also, because if we check this from here to, let's say, below the moving averages is 40%, so kind of steep, but you can also use this around 20% down for your risk level, because there is, I think, some support through here. And if you want to have good risk management, I think this is a good level to watch. And if we break below this, I would definitely cut this, especially in these market conditions. So these are the tokens that I've been looking at and I'm keeping on my watch list. A couple of other things that I wanted to discuss are news articles, or one is a tweet actually, and another one is a news article that came out, and I want to analyze it together with you guys because I found them to be very, very misleading. First, let's go over Mana and Decentraland. CoinDesk came out with this article on October 7th, which was 3 days ago. It's lonely in the metaverse. Decentraland has only 38 daily active users, and the ecosystem actually costs over $1 billion. And when you read it, you know, it feels like, you know, this thing is dead, you know, and we are not going to see much more from the metaverse. And so many people invested so much more into this. So what the hell is going on? And if we just read a little bit more in detail, you'll see that they're getting their data from DApp Radar. And in this case, it's very easy actually to check what the information is saying here and if it's correct. So I've opened the Decentraland here, and as you can see this graph, let me just zoom in a little bit. So this graph right here on the right is showing the daily active users for the past several years. And here on the left, we have the users right now. So 23 users in the Decentraland metaverse. However, if you see the lines here, you'll see that currently, yes, we have very low numbers, 20, 30, 40 users. But if we go back like 2021, 2022, the numbers are pretty much the same. So even when Mana was pumping like crazy, there were actually no users in the metaverse also. Does this mean that it's, yes, completely dead? I wouldn't make this conclusion so easily, just because, first of all, this is in the very early stages of development of the metaverse. Second of all, there's a lot of speculation going on, and Mana usually pumps just because there's a news. Like, I remember back then it was the announcement of Facebook that they're changing their name to Meta, and that's actually what caused all metaverse tokens to blow up. However, they haven't had really that many active users since their inception. So I'm not saying that the metaverse is dead. I'm not saying Decentraland has absolutely no future. I'm just saying, you know, watch at the details here. And also, if we take a look at another data point, and that's the marketplace of Decentraland, you'll see that in the past 7 days, let me just zoom in again, you'll see that we have 1,800 transactions, so total sales, and this is the volume in US dollars, so around $120,000. I wouldn't say these are big significant numbers, but I would say there's still activity. A lot of them could be just speculation again, and people trying to flip. There are just expert traders on the marketplace of Decentraland, and these are not like really huge numbers, but just keep this in mind. We're still in the very early stages, and whatever you're reading on a news article or somewhere on the internet like Twitter, like the next example we're going to look at it, you can always double check this and make sure that the information is correct. The tweet that I'm talking about is actually this one, It says the Intro to Cryptocurrencies and Blockchain course at Stanford now has more students enrolled than the Intro Computer Science course, and this was posted in the middle of September. And I actually heard this from Real Vision Crypto, which is actually a quite big service and quite a big YouTube channel. And Raul Poe is one of the people that a lot of people listen to. And I heard him saying this in the context of blockchain taking over the world and so on, so on, so on. And he was referring to a tweet on the internet, and I think, first of all, this is not a great source to take your information or to mislead people, but also when you read into it, I actually looked into this guy Sofiane or whatever. I looked into his account and also his comments below this tweet, and that's not actually the whole truth. You know, it's not like blockchain is taking over Stanford or the world. This was before the new students for the current semester started enrolling. And this was definitely a little bit misleading. So always take, at least with one grain of salt, everything that you're reading on the internet, and always double check the information if you find this very interesting, or if you decide that you want to base some kind of investment only on the news article that you're reading it. So for example, in the case of Mana, you might say, oh, this is terrible, so everyone is going to start looking into Mana and going to start try and short it. And if you look at the chart of Mana, you'll see that nothing has happened in the past week or so. We're still in this area, it's still chopping down, and we still might break down, but I don't think it's going to be because we have 38 active users in the past 3 years or so. It will be basically because there's no demand for the token right now, and that we're in a crypto bear market. So in general, whenever I'm reading news, I'm taking them just as a, I would say even fun sometimes. I'm not using any kind of news articles to base my investment decisions. So always keep this in mind, guys, and don't let yourself be misled by anyone on the internet, including myself. If you hear me saying something that might not make sense, like maybe something that I mentioned in the beginning of this video with the pension funds, go do your own research and prove me wrong. Tell me in the comments or whatever, tell me you're not right about this, and we can have a productive discussion. And actually that's the most important thing, to kind of shape the way you're thinking about things and make your own investment thesis. And you'll see that long term this will bring you a lot more benefits than just reading the news, taking them as they are and trying to make decisions based on them. That's everything for this video. It went a little bit longer than I expected, but I think it was important to do this one. If you have any questions, you know how to find me, and I'll see you in the next one.